Hello, and welcome to the show. This episode sees the continuation of my Dux Britanniarum campaign as the Scotti Raiders under Lord Ronald MacDonald take on the Saxons under the leadership of Lord Edwin. It's July AD617, and the Scotti have turned their attention to a village. To win the scenario, they have to loot 2 buildings. Let's have a look at the ground, which they'll be fighting over. The dominating feature of the ground is the village, which is at the top centre of this picture here. There is some rolling hills to the left and the right as you look, and also some boggy ground to the bottom, which is where the raiders' force will be entering from. The Saxons will be entering from the top of the board straight into the village. So here we have the raiders with Lord Ronald MacDonald front and centre with his champion Hamish, and on the left is the noble Louis McFlurry. 3 groups of raiders behind them, one of which is 8 strong rather than 6, because the Scotti have had some reinforcements because they're so successful. Next row behind them to the right is the slingers for missiles. We have Egg McMuffin and his 2 groups of skirmishers. On the left is the noble raider cavalry, and right at the back is the skirmish cavalry. The only change to the Saxon warband is the replacement for Elf Jin, who was killed in the last scenario, and he's replaced by Elf Rum. That's the noble front left. The remainder are Lord Edwin front and centre with Beowulf, his champion, the noble Elfwine at front right, 2 groups of Hearthguard behind the nobles and the lord, 1 group of archers or missiles on the left, and bringing out the rear 3 groups of warriors. Here are the cards for the start of the game. Saxons having aggressive charge and goad as a given, also bounding move, evade, and a true aim. Their force morale is still low. They're suffering from deductions because losing the last scenario. The Scotti get aggressive charge and darting blow as a starter. They also picked up another darting blow, carpe diem, and fleet of foot. They're obviously very well motivated at the moment, and that's reflected in their force morale of 7. At the start of this scenario, the Scotti get 2 turns to move before the Saxons can do anything, although the Saxons do have a vanguard able to enter the village before the main body. Let's have a look at their deployment. Okay, the situation at the beginning of the turn, having the Scotti had their 2 free moves. We can see the skirmish cavalry on the right pushing up with the missiles and 1 skirmish unit. We have Louis McFlurry with his raiders, group of 8 in the centre, the Lord Ronald MacDonald behind, and then on the left, noble raider cavalry and the other group of skirmishers. The vanguard of the Saxons, though, is in the village already, and we have the Lord himself, Lord Edwin, with his Hearthguard, and also the missiles. Okay, away we go. First card up is the Scotti skirmishers. They will just continue to push forward. 8 less 1 for the bog there for each, so there will go 5. And the other group will go 7. Scotti Lord up next. He's got a bit of a traffic jam here with Louis McFlurry in front, so he'll just have to move up as best he can. And there we go. He'll get -1 for the rough ground, but can't go much further than that. Saxon Lord up next. Well, he's got his 2 groups in, they're not in formation, so he's got to give a command initiative to each. So the first group will go over here and the second group will follow. He can tell them what to do. So the first group only goes 6. and the other group follows up behind. And the next card up is the Saxon missiles. They probably want to get up there, well, most of them do anyway, as quick as they can. Good roll of 15, so they can snuggle up there. Scotti leader 1, 6. Less a little bit for the rough ground there. Scotti missiles, well, they'll be pushing up on the flank, like so. Lastly, Scotti cavalry. I'm just going to push these guys out to the flank and see if they can come in at some stage in the future. So that's 8 plus 6 is 14. And similarly for the skirmish cavalry, I'm going to push them out onto the right flank and see what they can do at some stage. They roll 20. And that is the end of the first turn. Next turn, and Saxon leader is up. He will draw a card to start with. He draws goad, so he's got 2 goads now. And I think basically what he wants to do is get behind this hedge here, which is going to be light cover, and protect the village. So that's what he's going to do. So the first group goes 12. They'll lose 1 for that field there. A little bit of rough ground. And the other group will go 8. So they're just behind. Scotti skirmishers are up next. So there's 2 groups of those at the moment. 1 here and 1 here. I think this one will go first. They will go 2 dice 6. And try to get within 6 inches of the hearthguard, which they do. So they will fire with 4, hitting on a 4, 5, 6. 1 hit, and it's 5, 6 shock, no effect. Okay, the other group of skirmishers will do the same. I think actually they'll come in the same position about here around the other side of the trees. Sorry, 2 dice and 7. So Egg McMuffin getting his skirmishers in position quite nicely actually. And again, 4 dice. Getting a 4, 5, 6. 3 hits. 5, 6 shock. 1 shock. Okay, next card up is Saxon Leader 2, which is Elf Rum, the new noble who's joining Lord Edwin. He will come on and I think swing round and protect the left flank. So he's got 5. He's just going to come on with 1 group of warriors. Can't be trusted at the moment. Scotti Leader 1. Alright, this is the group with 8 raiders under Bluey McFlurry. Now, he's seen the Hearthguard here. He's seen that the skirmishers are engaging them. Therefore, I think what he's going to do is push round to the flank and see if he can get into the village that way. So he's going 9 less 1 for that rough ground is 8. And Saxon Leader 1 is up next, which is Elf Wine, and he will bring on 2 groups of warriors up round to the right hand side here. again moving independently. First group goes 14. And the second group, again, a slow move, only 5. Next card is the Scotti Lord. He is going to, I think he's also going to push up round here with Bluey. He goes 7. So they're going to sort of win their way through the bog. Well, then go sort of 6 and that rough ground there. Okay, Scotti cavalry are up next. The noble raider cavalry are going to come around here and lurk in this area, ready to pounce through a gap in the village just here if there's any shock. So they are going to go 15, which gets them nicely into position, ready to strike. I guess the skirmish cavalry can come in through here and attack the archers. So they're going to make for this gap in the hedge with 2 dice, which they easily do, and they will attack the skirmishers. 4, 5, 6 to hit. 3 hits. And 4, 5, 6 to shock. No effect. So the Saxon missiles are up, and they will just simply shoot at those skirmish cavalry. 4, 5, 6 to hit, I think. 3 hits. 3, 4 shock, 5, 6 kill. 2 kill. And the final group are the Scotti missiles. So they will move up 2 dice. 7. Just get on the edge of that hedge, and they will also fire at yeah, I think they'll fire at the missiles. So 4, 5, 6 to hit. All misses. And that is the end of the turn. Alright, next card up is Scotti Lord. So he's going to continue to move around here. He goes 14. Scotti missiles, they will fire at the Saxon missiles. 4, 5, 6 to hit. 3 hits. And 5 shock, 6 kill. 1 shock, 1 kill. Okay, Elfram is going to move, continue moving on the left flank there. He could move through the missiles, but we'll lose 1 dice 6, so we'll probably get stuck behind them for the moment. And there we go, he goes 12, so yes, he's stuck behind them, but not a bad move. Looks like the flank's being protected. Scotti cavalry, well, the noble raider cavalry will stay on the flank. The skirmish cavalry will fire. There's only 2 of them left. They'll fire with 2, hitting on a 4, 5, 6. So 1 hit and no effect. Egg McMuffin, no shock to take off, no action there. Saxon missiles, they will continue to, I think they'll continue to fire at the skirmish cavalry. There's 3 of them. It's 4, 5, 6 to hit, 2 hits, 3, 4 shock, 5, 6 kill. Oh, that one again. 1 kill. So the skirmish cavalry are down to 1. Saxon Lord is up now. Lord Edwin. Right, he's got 1 point of shock, which doesn't really affect them. He could charge the... He hasn't got a Carpe Diem, so he can't use anything like that. If he just stays there, he's going to continue to take shock from the skirmishers. So he's got to be a bit careful. If he goes behind the hedge, he'll go in light cover, but then, like I say, he's just literally going to be a target for the skirmishers, and that isn't going to be much use. So he is going to try and get rid of the skirmishers. So he'll lose 1 pip per dice for going through the wheat field and over the hedge there. Yeah, and both, I suppose both of these can evade. Right, he rolls 7, 9, we'll lose 3, it's 6, which is just enough to get in. He'll take that point of shock off first, obviously, otherwise he wouldn't have got in. And that both skirmishers will evade. They roll 2 dice 6. Only just. And the other group. So what will come back, Lord Edwin, is 2 lots of 4 2 hits on elite. It's 5-6 shock, no effect. So the other group of skirmishers, 2 hits and no effect. But of course he's a little bit exposed now. He's used 2 command initiatives, and what's he going to do now? Of course he's done the classic and put himself in a silly position, really. So he'll tell the other lot to move up as well, give him some support, which they will do. So they'll go 9 less 3 is 6, so they'll come up to the hedge. And straight up is the Scotti skirmishers. So this is the real challenge playing the skirmishers, because they're just going to keep peppering away. So the first group on the left as we look, 2 hits, 5 and 6 shock, no effect. The other group, 2 hits again, and no effect. Well, that's fortunate. Right, so Scotti Leader 1, Bluey McFlurry is up now. He has drawn a card for 1. He is going to charge in and play some cards, which is going to be Carpe Diem. Now that doesn't do anything in itself because it's a boar suited card, but it does allow him to play multiple cards. And what he's going to do is play Darting Blow and Aggressive Charge. So Darting Blow, a group or formation may attack fighting 1 round of combat before withdrawing 2 dice 6 inches. They end their turn facing their foe. So basically you've got just 1 round of combat rather than the usual 2. An aggressive charge, so they'll be hitting on 3s rather than 4, 5, 6. They've got to get there first. So let's see what they do. 5. Just enough. So in they go. And let's do some calculations. Okay, so Scotti have 8, 9, 10 for Bluey. They'll also get 2 for the Scotti suited cards, and they'll be hitting on a 3. The Saxons will have 6. Lord Edwin will get involved, so it's 9, 10, 11 for Beowulf as well, and 1 more because they are elite, so they're also on 12.
Okay, do the Saxons first, hitting on a 4, 5, 6. Five hits. And the Scotti hitting on 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Nice. What's that? That's 8 hits. Okay. So damage on the Scotti, it's 3, 4, 5 shock, 6 kill. 1 kill only. Just leave that there a minute. And the Scotti, 4, 5 shock, 6 kill on the Saxons. Ooh, that is a heavy hit. Right, 4 shock, 2 kill. Let's just see on the Scotti side. It is not Bluey McFlurry, so 1 dead on the Scotti side. 2 shock, wrong, 4 shock on the Saxons, and 2 killed. Is it the Lord? It is. Lord Edwin is wounded. 1 other Hearthguard is killed. They're on 4 shock. And we are fighting 1 round of combat only. So the Scotti go back 9 inches, facing the same way as they attacked. So actually go back a fair way. And it's a bad things happen immediately for the Saxons. The Lord has been wounded, so the Saxons' force morale drops to 4. Now that was a heavy use of cards by the Scotti, but I think actually that was very useful. Lord Edwin, exposed in front of the village, may be in a bit of trouble. Elfwine up next. Well, he's got to get up here, this side of the village, so that gets him up nicely onto the fence there, or the hedge rather. And that is the end of the turn. Okay, first card up for the next turn is Saxon Missiles. I think they'll try and finish off the Scotti Skirmish Cavalry there. 2 hits and 3, 4 shock, 5, 6 kill. Yes, that's it, they're gone. It doesn't have any effect though on force morale because they are skirmish troops, but still, that's 1 less thing to worry about. The Saxon Lord is up now, so he's down to 2 command initiative. I think he'll take off a point of shock. And I think what he's going to do is get back behind the hedge. So there's no reduction in movement for the shock because they're moving away from the enemy. They will lose 1 pip per dice going over the hedge, but that's enough to get them back. And they won't be able to join up in formation with the other group as yet, but they've got a little bit of cover now. Scotti Cavalry out on the flank. I think they will remain there for the moment. They're still waiting their opportunity. In fact, no, what they're going to do is move up to the wood here, but no further, which they easily do. Again, they're just waiting to pounce. Scotti Missiles, they will fire at the... Well, no, I tell you what they will do. They're going to fire at this Hearthguard with the Lord. Why not? 4 dice. 4, 5, 6 to hit. 2 hits. It's elite. So it's 5 shock, 6 kill. No effect. Louis McFlurry now for the Scotti. Well, I think that was quite a successful attack. For 1 command initiative, he will pick up a card. He's picked up Desperare, so that ain't going to do anything. But he will move only, and I think he's going to come around to the Saxon left flank. So they feinted on the right, attacked in the middle, and now they're coming round the other side. Scotti skirmishers. Okay, this group here will fire straight away at the Hearthguard. They're behind soft cover, so it's 5-6 to hit, and that's no hits whatsoever there. The other skirmishers will move up to within 6 inches. They go 2 inches. That's just in range, and they will fire also at Lord Edwin's group. 1 hit. And 1 point of shock, so they're back up to 4 shock. The Scotti Lord, Lord Ronald MacDonald. If he's quick, he can do some damage. He's picked up a card and it's Carpe Diem. I don't think that's going to give him much use at the moment. I think what he's going to do is charge this single group of warriors. They'll be behind light cover. He has 11, which is more than enough to get in. Okay, let's do some calculations. It's 12 for the Raiders. The Lord will definitely be fighting, as will his champion, so it's another 5, so that's 17. Saxons have 6, 7, 8. So the Saxons go first, and it's 4, 5, 6 to hit. Two hits on both groups. And the Scotti will be hitting on a 5, 6 only, because the Saxons are behind light cover. So they get 6 hits. Right, 1 shock, 1 kill. Is the kill on the Lord? It is. And again, Lord Ron MacDonald's happy with that, because that's a point of honour. He's been wounded. Brilliant news. And 2 shock on the others. And on the Saxons is 3, 4 shock, 5, 6 kill. Well, that's disaster. 2 shock, 4 kill. The noble is wounded. Elfwine is wounded for 1 of the kills, and another 3 for the Saxons, so it's net 3. So withdraw a minimum of 6. If excess shock, which they don't have, you roll some more. So they go back 6. The Scotti will advance 2 inches. So they're over the hedge. And more disaster for the Saxons. So first of all, I need to do a bad things happen for the Lord being injured there. It is 2. That is 1 point off the Scotti force morale, and they're down to 6. And for the noble being wounded, for the Saxons, 6. It is another 2 points off their force morale, and the Saxons are down to 2 already. Next card up is Saxon Leader 2, Elfrum. Well, I think he's got to switch targets and come over here and support his mate, which they're going to do. 8. And that is the end of the turn. Again, I don't know whether the tactics probably not doing it particularly well, but things don't seem to be going the Saxon way. The Scotti have breached the perimeter of the village here and pushed back the warriors here, although Elf Rum is desperately trying to link up with Elf Wine to give him some support. There is also another group of warriors towards the back of the village which aren't really doing much, and at the front of the village it's like the Hearthguard are effectively just being sidelined here. They need to get into the fight. Already got a wounded lord. This group has 4 shock. They're being effectively held by the skirmishers. I can't get rid of them. And look out, Bluey McFlurry is in the back, maybe swinging around. And there's also the Noble Raider cavalry off to a flank. This is desperate for the Saxons. Desperate for my my tactics, I guess. Let's shuffle the pack. Right, the first card up is a Scotti missile, so they will continue to fire at the Hearthguard. They'll continue to fire at the Hearthguard, so it's 4, 5, 6 to hit, 2 hits, and it will be 5 shock, 6 kill, so another point of shock. They're up to 5. They're up to 5, and there's only 5 of them. The Saxon Lord is up next. He's 2 command initiatives. He's on 5 shock. He's got to withdraw. He'll come back to the hall. He'll take a point of shock off and then come back. Saxon missiles, they will continue to fire. Three hits. These guys will be behind soft cover, I guess. Well, that was pretty good. 2 kill. Now, Ronald McDonald's card has come up. He will, he's drawn a card. He'll take off 1 point of shock. And they will charge in. They lose 1 inch because of shock, but they're in. But what happens here, as I understand it, is that this group are within 2 inches, so can join the combat. So there we are. Let's do some calculations. So it's 6, less 1 for shock was 5, plus 6, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 for the Scotti. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for the Saxons. Okay. Saxons first. We're hitting on 4, 5, 6. That is a fantastic hit. Look at that. 5 on the Lord, 4 on the other group. Not bad in return either. 4 hits on both of the Saxon groups. So, start on the left-hand group. It is 3 shock. They're up to 5. And 1 kill. On the Lord, 1 shock, 1 kill. Is it on the Lord? No. Probably just as well this time. Left hand Saxon group, 1 shock. 2 shock. And the right hand Saxon group, 1 shock, 2 kill. Is the kill on the Noble? It is. Elf Wine has been killed. Another one killed as well. So, a net 1 to the Saxons on that, which means that any groups with excess shock will be going back. Well, they have 5, and there's 5 of them. No, these guys actually do have excess shock. They'll be going back 2 inches anyway, and these will be following up. But we have the bad things happen for the losing elf wine. It's a 3, and a noble killed with a 3 is -1. So the Saxons are on force morale of 1. Oh, that was only round 1 of the combat, so we go again. I suppose, right? Yes. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8 for the Saxons, and 5 less 2 is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 less 1 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for the Scotti. Okay, Scotty, do the Saxons first. Again, 4, 5, 6 to hit, not so good this time. So 2 on the Lord and 1 on the other group. And 4 hits in return. Okay, left hand group, 1 shock. So they have excess shock. 2 shock. Left hand Saxon group, 1 shock, 1 kill. Is it on the law? No. And the right hand group, 1 shock, 1 kill. All right. So this is net 2. There's 2 Saxons dead, no Scotti dead. So that means fall back 1 inch per shock on groups. So these guys will go back. Well, first of all, these guys will go back, or this chap will go back 6, and then he routs. He's off the table. These guys will go back 3. Excess shock, so they'll go back 1 inch. And I'm guessing that Lord Ronald MacDonald, he's on 4. So Lord Ronald MacDonald has to follow up the routed warriors. Does he do it? Yes, he does, because a 3, even if he added 1, is 4. They're on 4 shock, and away they go. And they're up 5 inches. And finally, bad things happen for the Saxons. They roll a 2. This is for losing a warrior group. And they lose 1 point of force morale. And the Saxons are on 0. Okay, so even though the force morale has dropped to 0, and the Saxons have got to withdraw, because the Scotti force morale is still up at 6, they can contest the withdrawal, and that's what they'll do. They're basically going to fight them off the table. The next card up is the Scotti Noble Raider Cavalry. They are going to go straight in for the kill. How far they go is another matter. They will aim to swing around and hit this lot in the rear. 3 dice 6 plus 3. plus 3 dice 6 plus 6. And that is exactly what they do. So the Noble Raider Cavalry have hit the warrior group in the rear with Elfram, and they are playing Carpe Diem, which means that it is a rear attack, and they get +1 to hit and +1 on the effect of the hit. So work out the dice. The Saxons will get 5 less 1 is 4, plus their noble will be on 6. The Noble Raider Cavalry will get 4 plus 3 is 7, and 1 for being noble, 1 for being elite. Four, 5, 6 to hit. 2 hits from the Saxons. Threes and above. Looks like carnage. See what the Saxons do to the cavalry. Nothing. And this is +1 on the dice. So 4s and above are kills. A 1 becomes a 2 is nothing. 6 killed. That is all of those warriors. He takes a wound. And we now have a noble on his own. I think he's going to be captured. Well, it does say he can withdraw 3 dice 6 to a group. So that's what he'll do. He goes 9. So he can run around the hall and go with his lord. Scotti leader 1. Scotti skirmishers. We'll fire. Hearthguard here, no hits. The other group will also fire. No hits, a bit useless. And final card, Saxon leader 2. Well, that was Elfram, who's just been overwhelmed, and he's run around to the Lord. So that's the end of the round. The Saxons clearly need to start running away, otherwise they're going to take even more losses. In fact, this group here, they're uncommanded, so they will retire off the table, I guess, because at the moment they're routing anyway. And they're gone, but intact. So the next turn, Scotti leader 1 needs to get in on the action. He's going to come in here and chase away the missiles if he can. Not quite. Saxon missiles, well, they've got to run away. And they go 10. Saxon leader 2, which is Elfram. I don't suppose he can really activate that group that he's with, but so he'll just run away himself, which he does. So he's off the table. Every man for himself. Scotti missiles. There's 11. Oh, they probably should have fired at the Hearthguard there. In fact, I didn't move them. They were uncommanded. They should have come back. Last go. Apologies for that. The Saxon Lords group, and they've got 6, so they're not quite off the table. The Scotti Lord, what he will do for 1 initiative is take off 1 point of shock. Well, he'll take off 2 points of shock. He just needs to be careful here. Don't need to cook his goose just yet. Scotti Cavalry, well, here we go. The Noble Raider Cavalry can again attack this group here, and you know what? They've got another Carpe Diem card. So it's 3 dice 6 plus 3. They're in. So the Scotti Cavalry get 4 for the cavalry themselves, plus 4 because the Saxons are on shock. The Saxons will get 5 less 2 is 3. Lord Edwin is 2, and Champion is 2. They're both elites, so no other extra dice there. The Saxons will be hitting on a 4, 5, 6. Well, that's not bad. So 4 hits on the cavalry. These guys get a +1, so they're all hits. 4, 5 shock, 6 kill. Oh, look at this. This is just dire, isn't it? Dire. And coming back, and all +1. So 5 and 6 is going to be a kill. 3s will be shock. So 2 kill and 3 shock. Let's put the shock on. The 2 kill is one of those on Lord Edwin. It is. He's wounded again. It was another kill. But the good thing is, for the Saxons, they have so much excess shock that they run away. And that, I think, saves them effectively. Scotti Skirmishers. And finally, any uncommanded groups. There are only 2 groups now left. The missiles weren't uncommanded. These Hearthguard are. They've got to try and get out. They go 8. And that's the end of the round. To be fair to the Saxon Hearthguard, I think they would have probably evaded a little bit more over this way rather than directly towards the cavalry. There are no nobles left for the Saxons. Scotti Cavalry, well, there we go. They're in. Well, they're not in. They're not in because there's no shock. They will charge the missiles, and I don't even bother have to roll. So the missiles are gone. Dispersed. Saxon Missiles card was up next anyway, so they would have gone. The Scotti Lord. Scotti Lord, he will again take off 2 shock. Scotti Missiles. They will fire 2 at the Hearthguard. No effect. Scotti Skirmishers. They'll move 2 dice 6. And fire at the Hearthguard. 4 dice. Hitting on a 4, 5, 6. 1 hit. No effect. The other skirmishers will try to move up, but don't get very far. Scotti Leader 2, Bluey McFlurry is up next. He will draw a card. And the card is Carpe Diem, which means he can hit these in the rear if he gets the dice. So, because you've got to go around the hut there, he needs 10, which he gets. So, combat 7, 8, 9 for the Scotti. Six, 7 for the Hearthguard because they're elite. Do the Saxons first, they'll be hitting on 4, 5, 6. Not bad. You definitely do not want to go. They definitely do not want to go without a fight. Now these guys will be hitting on 3s and above, which they do. So the effect on Scotti, 3, 4, 5 shocks, that's 4 shock. And it's +1 on these. So 6s are kills anyway. 3s become 4, so it's 3 shock, 2 kill. And it's for about 1 inch per shock on group, so they go 3. And they will follow up 2. Final card is Scotti Leader 1. I've done it the wrong way around again. That's Scotti Leader 1, but Scotti Leader 2 is Egg McMuffin at the back with the skirmishers. Okay, no worries. So, uncommanded groups, which are the Saxons. And finally, they escape off the table. Well, the Saxons have now routed completely. They took a few more casualties along the way. The village is now occupied by the Scotti, who will then plunder to their heart's content, uncontested. A sad state of affairs yet again for Lord Edwin.
Well, I said it during the scenario, but I think my tactics are just completely wrong with the Saxons, so I've got to have a good think about that. I think I've got it sussed with the Scotti. Happy with the use of the cavalry now, certainly the noble raider cavalry, and the skirmishers. The cavalry not so good this time around, but certainly the foot skirmishers were very good, useful. But I'm really struggling with the Saxons, and I think they might be even overpowered, which is really interesting. Way before, when I was playing Dux many months ago, my rules knowledge was not quite so good as it is getting now. I realise there's still a lot of mistakes. I thought the Scotti were quite weak, but they're proven to be quite a difficult enemy for the Saxons to play against. Anyway, so thinking cap on for me, and let's do a summary of where we got to in the scenario, the battle over the village. So the Scotti lost 4 skirmish cavalry, 3 raiders, 2 slingers, which is a total of 9. And of course Lord Ronald MacDonald picked up a wound, which is very good for his honour. So overall that was moderate losses. The Saxons, on the other hand, they lost 12 warriors, 4 elite Hearthguard, 1 archer. The noble Elfwine was killed, Elf Rum was wounded, and of course Lord Edwin himself was wounded twice and nearly killed himself. Total losses for the Saxons therefore were 18, and I'm including Elfwine in that total, and they are heavy losses. Of note is that 5 warriors and 3 Hearthguard were killed after the force morale collapsed to 0 for the Saxons, so I think that was a good decision for the Scotti to literally put the boot in when the Saxons were down. Okay, let's look at the old scoreboard. Successful raid +2, 1 noble killed, enemy noble killed +1, own troops killed -1 for that, but the enemy troops killed will be +3, so that is a net +5 for the Scotti. So the success of the Scotti is unbounded at the moment. They immediately gain sufficient followers to replace the dead men from this raid, and 2 more volunteer warriors or raiders to add to one of the groups, and they get a thief's hoard in plunder. Unfortunately for the Saxons, the heavy losses means that they can only field a warband in 3 months' time. I calculate therefore that the Scotti can continue raiding uncontested for 2 more months, August and September, where they will also net 2 more thief's hoards, which will take them up to a prince's chest. And this is over the Rome's riches that they already have, so they are literally rolling around in cash at the moment. As the campaign season of AD 617 draws to a close in October of that year, the Scotti will look to do one last raid on a wagon train. Lord Edwin, having licked his wounds for 3 months, will be looking to blunt the nose of the Scotti raiders in this final part of the year's conflict. I hope you can join me then. See you next time.